let's hope they figure things out. Sticking with the quarterbacks here, out in Minnesota, after the Vikings opted to let Sam Darnold leave in free agency this offseason, they turned things over to 2024 first-rounder J.J. McCarthy. What are your expectations for him?
Yeah, I thought he had an okay performance yesterday in a preseason debut. You got to remember, this quarterback hasn't really played a meaningful snap. Go back to the national championship with Michigan. Of course, he played last year, but the meniscus injury put him out for the entire year. So he's still feeling his way through the NFL, and I thought he was okay the other night. 4 of 7 for 30 yards. It wasn't like he was lighting the world on fire. He had an 18-yard pass to Jordan Addison. That was his longest throw of the night. Pressure up the middle that he was dealing with. The throw was a little bit far in front of Jordan Addison. Addison actually made a really nice diving catch on it. So again, not the cleanest outing, but it also wasn't an unmitigated disaster. I think that when we look at J.J. McCarthy, there's a lot of pressure on this kid, not just because he was a first-round pick. He's a young quarterback coming into a starting role, but he is, as you referenced, coming off of Sam Darnold, who was prolific en masse with the Minnesota Vikings last season. You know, over 4,000 yards passing, 35 passing touchdowns, led them to 14 wins. Did stumble late in the season. They were one and done in the playoffs, so don't want to give him too much credit there, but J.J. McCarthy is expected to elevate this team. They are expecting an upgrade at quarterback, which is a lot to put on someone, which again, is someone who threw for 35 passing touchdowns, nearly was the #1 seed in the NFL a season ago, and the Vikings with that 14 wins came down to week 18 against the Detroit Lions. So there's a lot of pressure on this kid, but we have seen him perform at high levels, winning a national championship at the collegiate level. So I think he's equipped for it. The Minnesota Vikings certainly have enough talent around him and a coaching staff that can help cater a young quarterback, but it's all going to rest on whether or not McCarthy can actually perform it and raise the stakes.
Yeah, he has the support around him, but we'll see if he lives up to some of those expectations. Let's get to some latest contract drama, and I cannot believe that you and I are still talking about this, Tyler. I don't think anyone can believe that Terry McLaurin still has not got a new deal with the Washington Commanders. We are to the point where McLaurin has requested a trade from the team, but the question now is, will the Commanders go through with that request? Where are we at?
Yeah, it's like we've talked about. It's so head-scratching that you have a wide receiver as talented as Terry McLaurin, a Washington Commanders team that was just in the Final Four of the NFL, playing in the NFC Championship game against the Philadelphia Eagles, nearly making a Super Bowl appearance, and now you're going to maybe not have your #1 wideout when Jaden Daniels is on his rookie contract. It just seems so head-scratching that we've even gotten to this point, and I wonder where we're going to go from here, because I don't believe that Terry McLaurin is asking for anything that is totally out of bounds. I don't believe that he is asking to become Jamar Chase level paid, highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL type of contract. I think he's looking closer to what the Pittsburgh Steelers gave DK Metcalf, which is around $33 million in average annual salary. Now, that would be a $10 million per year increase of what he has been making, and he's 30 years old, going to be during this season. But at the same time, I feel like Terry McLaurin's the type of wide receiver that's going to age pretty well. I think if you project him out, I think he will still be a high caliber pass catcher for this offense for the next, for the foreseeable future. I just don't understand the mindset here for the Washington Commanders. If you had Jaden Daniels and he was making a ton of money and he was, he's on his second contract, okay, I can understand where you maybe make those sacrifices, but you have him on his rookie deal. You are suddenly thrust into a Super Bowl window because he was so successful in his first season. I just don't understand where they go from here if they do decide to trade off of Terry McLaurin, because Deebo Samuel has a lot of tread on his tires as well. He would suddenly be your #1 wide receiver, and I just don't know if he holds up. And beyond that, I don't know what else is there that could really take this offense to that next level for Jaden Daniels in year 2. So I think the Commanders are kind of painting themselves in the corner here. It's either you move off of your star wide receiver and you get worse as a football team, or you pay him and you continue your ascent. It seems like an easy decision to me, but they haven't done it so far, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, unfortunate. And the longer it kind of drags out, the longer I think this might actually come to fruition. We'll wait and see. Lastly, the Commanders' division foe, the Cowboys, dealing with their own contract drama with star edge rusher Micah Parsons. For the first time all training camp last week, Parsons was not on the practice field due to some back soreness and tightness. They're calling it a back injury. It's interesting timing on this, possibly just some more drama to this contract saga. How does this all play out, Tyler?
Yeah, something tells me this back soreness would clear up really quickly with a contract extension that makes him the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. I feel like a little bit of jockeying and a little bit of, you know what, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning. My back's a little sore. I'm going to kind of sit this one out. I don't know how serious this back injury is. Of course, it could be, but given everything that's surrounding Parsons and his status with the Cowboys, my antenna's raised a little bit. And this is another one that is head-scratching for the Dallas Cowboys because we all knew this was coming. We shouldn't be surprised that Micah Parsons is looking for a contract that was going to be record-shattering, and the Dallas Cowboys could have gotten this done a lot sooner. They could have done this earlier at the beginning of the offseason when the highest-paid non-quarterback title was changing hands like a hot potato. I mean, it was Max Crosby, you go to Jamar Chase, Myles Garrett, TJ Watt most recently. They could have really brought this number a lot lower, but the longer they've waited, Micah Parsons' number just continues to go up. I think right now it's over $41 million per season. That could have been a lot lower here for Jerry Jones. And part of me wonders if Jerry Jones just likes this because we've seen this time and time again, whether it was Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Ezekiel Elliott, you can go back to as well, kind of taking it to the wire in terms of the contract negotiations leading up to week one, being in the headlines, and ultimately everything works out all hunky-dory. They're back as a Dallas Cowboy. I wonder if we're just going through the same song and dance here with Micah Parsons. Obviously, it's a little nerve-wracking in the moment if you're a Cowboys fan when you see a Notes app post from Micah Parsons saying that he's severing ties from the organization. But again, it's the Dallas Cowboys. It's Jerry Jones. I just kind of have a feeling we're going to get to week one. He's signed a new deal, and he's lining up off the edge for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, this is just their bit, right? This is what they do. This is the Dallas Cowboys.